Welcome to the Global Gurus podcast. I have my favorite co-host LGO with me this morning, and we've got Dorie Clark. I mean, what a morning! But anyway, this is a podcast. The Global Gurus podcast is a 15-minute conversation with thinkers shaping the future of leadership and business. Now, every episode we ask 3 questions: what's the biggest problem you see right now? What's the original methodology you've built to solve it? And how are you applying it to create measurable results in the real world? I'm Rhett Power, and it is good to be with you. Laura, I'm gonna let you take it away. Do we even need to introduce Dorie? If the world doesn't know who Dorie is, where have they been?
Where have they been? I feel like every time I go anywhere, somebody tells me something. They're like, oh, I was just reading this really interesting LinkedIn post by this woman, Dorie Clark. Have you heard of her? And I was like, heard of her? Everyone's heard of Dorie Clark. Dorie Clark is the recognized expert who teaches people how to become recognized experts. So, Dorie, we want to learn all about this. We want to understand how to play the long game. We want to understand how to get known for big ideas. What is the biggest problem that you see right now in the world?
So, Laura and Rhett, thank you so much. There's plenty of problems in the world geopolitically, but the one that I will zoom in on is the one that I've spent the most time personally thinking about, which is the challenge that in a very noisy world, and whatever the internet brought us in terms of noise, AI is 10xing or 100xing that. There are so many talented people with a lot of ideas that they could contribute positively to the world, but they don't know how to get those ideas out there. And they are stymied by all the noise and all the slop. And so the problem that I want to solve and have been working for the past 20 years to try to solve is to help the best people with the most to contribute be able to actually do that so that the best ideas will win.
I love that. And you're helping world-class people get their message out. And I love how you do that. What's the methodology for this? How do you do that? How do you solve that problem? Because like you said, there's a lot of slop, which I love that word. And there's a lot of noise. And there are a lot of people out there putting out a lot of junk, into the world. How do you break through that?
Absolutely. We certainly see it looking on social networks these days that there's so many things that sound very polished, but don't actually have a lot of substance to them once you dig just a little bit below the surface. So I've created a number of years ago, what I call the recognized expert formula. And the formula has 3 pillars to it. And they all work in concert together to create a genuine signal of expertise that other people can pick up on. And it is, I'll break these down: content creation, social proof, and network. And the way these fit together, content creation is basically the idea that you need to share your ideas publicly so that people can find them. It sounds intuitive, but a lot of people don't write books or write articles or give speeches or do podcasts or other things. And they are surprised that the world has not heard of them. The problem is that if you don't do those things, the only way that your ideas can transmit is literally person to person, which is never going to scale the way you need. So you have to find some sort of way to put your ideas out into the world so that they can be transmissible when you're not there. That's content. Number 2 is social proof. We live in a world where there is so much coming at us. The default response is to just tune it out and to not listen and say, oh, I can't deal with this. And so we need to give people very quick shortcuts so that they understand that you are a credible person that is worth listening to. That is what social proof is. What are the rapid fire forms of authority. Maybe it's being named a top thinker by global gurus, for instance. That, awards are a great marker of that. Maybe it's being quoted in certain media outlets that people have heard of. Maybe it's having a blue chip client list. Maybe it's great testimonials. Maybe it's having an academic affiliation. I know Laura's pursuing her PhD right now. So there's a lot of different ways you can get social proof. And the final piece is your network, because it's slightly suspicious if you were supposed to be a top thinker or a top whatever in your field and the other ones have not heard of you. So you need to be in conversation with people in your field so that they do know who you are, so that they can improve your ideas, and so that you can be talked about and have the message spread by other people. You have those three ingredients. That's the recognized expert formula, and it enables your ideas to spread.
So as you're thinking about applying this to create measurable results in the real world, how do you disaggregate between shortcuts, right? There are shortcuts everywhere. There's always like some award you can fake. There's always, there's a way to look impressive, right? You can fake a speaking reel. There's all sorts of things that people can do. How do you create actual measurable results with this in a world where there is so much opportunity for something to look like it's not?
Yeah. So there's a few different problems that we have to parse apart. The first one is people who are legitimate experts. This is the realm that I usually deal with. They're legitimate experts, but they're having trouble breaking through. And so it's about coming up with strategies to help you convey your legitimate expertise. Another separate problem is the people out there who are the fake experts who are using techniques effectively. They're marketing themselves well, but there's no there. And that is certainly a problem in the marketplace. But mostly for us, we need to solve the problem in our own lane. But I would say if you are a consumer and you're trying to tease apart who's actually credible, I think number one, it is there's a few things. I've been really kind of trying to home in on the question of what can't be faked, because lots of things can. And what I've come to is that one of the most important signals is how you perform live in an unscripted environment these days. It is, so I'm actually seeing, and maybe you guys are too, because I know you speak a lot, there is much more interest in a shift where the ratio of presentation to Q&A is reversed now. For instance, it used to be a standard thing. You speak for an hour, okay, 40 minutes, 45 minutes talk, maybe 10 or 15 minutes of Q&A. Now I'm seeing much more, and even starting to suggest it to clients as well, because I think it is value added. You do a shorter presentation, much more interaction live, because that's the part people can't get, and it can't be faked. If AI could write your speech for you, it can't answer your question, at least not right now, in the moment talking to someone face to face. I think another element that is useful, and we're seeing this now in the algorithms. LinkedIn, for instance, has been working to prioritize video more. And part of the reason for that is, it's not to say it's going to be the case forever. I'm sure AI is going to be able to do everything soon. But at the moment, it's much harder for AI to fake video as compared to AI to write an article for you. And so that, at least for the moment, is a place where you can demonstrate genuine expertise that is very clear to others.
Yeah, and I think that there's that your third piece of network is a really interesting place also, because birds of a feather flock together. So if I co-write an article with you in HBR, for example, that signals to other people in the market that respect you that they should respect me, right? So I think that interesting combination of content and then social proof, and with whom you create the content and the social proof, is more important than just doing it individually at this point. But it's hard because some of the most quote unquote famous people, right, are the flashiest, and then they get together with other flashy people, and so there's a lot of the sort of entrepreneur world is attracted to that flash. But as they used to say in Texas, right, it's all hat and no cattle. At the end of the day, there's not a lot of there, but people are impatient, and they want the sort of quickie answer. And I find that people are more and more satisfied by the glossed over shallow answer where somebody goes wide but not deep. So how do we fight in a world where we want to go deep and not necessarily just broad?
Yeah, well, I think this is a challenge we've all been dealing with collectively for 30 or 40 years at this point. I mean, it's 100% more acute, but it is also true that, oh my goodness, wait, now there's cable news. Now there's cable 24/7. It's not just 3 networks anymore. Oh my God, our minds are blown. And then it's the internet. You don't even have to turn on a television. So it's this ever evolving sort of always on, always more kind of thing. And I've been really fascinated by the rise of counter programming because if you have something that connects enough with an audience, it's been proven to work. I mean, Joe Rogan is giving podcasts that are, 3 and 4 hours, and he's the most popular podcaster. It's ludicrous. Who has the time to listen to this? But lots of people do because they are looking for depth. So I think it is equally true that, yes, lots of people like the snackable, 30-second content. But if you want to carve out a lane of depth, I think that there is room for that. I think part of it too is encouraging people to have the confidence in their own tastes. It is useful, of course, to look at what other people are doing, to see what's working, to see what resonates. But I mean, I'll give you an example. I have decided this year, I've always focused a lot on LinkedIn and sort of doing things on LinkedIn. But this year I've decided, okay, I should master Instagram.
I've been loving watching your experiment. I'm very excited that you're going to talk about this.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, by the way.
I appreciate it. I mean, it's a very different world, right? Because it's not just a business audience. It is a general audience. So you have to think about it differently, speak about it differently. And so I've been studying these people who are doing business content, quote unquote, well, on Instagram. And there's this one woman and literally her entire brand is, and she's over 1 million followers. I mean, God bless. Like, I'm very happy for her that she is living her dream, but her whole brand is look at my fleet, I'm not joking, fleet of pink Porsches, and look at my boyfriend and how sexy he is. And look, I'm making all this money. And
yeah, she's ranked number 2 on the Global Gurus. Yeah.
Exactly. Pink Porsche lady. And I'm just like, I am literally morally opposed to every single thing about this. I mean, I'm happy as a feminist. I want to be like, you do you. But in terms of my personal taste, I literally could not be further in terms of what I think a good human is and how a person should be. And so, you know what? I think for all of us, we can have our taste and say, she has been successful. That is not the way that I need to be successful. We can all find our own way to adapt the tropes and the themes and the memes that are working.
I remember probably 10 years ago now, Marshall told me to get over myself. And what we were talking about is,
so Marshall Goldsmith, of course, tells all of us to get over ourselves all the time. So in a world where we have to talk about ourselves, we have to, but it's really uncomfortable to talk about ourselves. What's your advice to people who don't want to brag? And so because people don't hear about us.
Yes. Well, Marshall has a great, of course, rejoinder to all of this. I was just doing a webinar with him yesterday because Marshall and our colleague Alyssa Cohn and I are collaborating on a book project that's going to come out in fall of 2027 called The Definitive Guide to Becoming a Coach. And on this webinar yesterday, Marshall got asked this exact question. And so I will repeat his advice, which is, okay, do you believe the world would be a better place if you could help more people? They say yes. And they say, are you comfortable promoting yourself? And they say no. And he says, okay, well, which matters more? do you want to be selfish enough that you're denying people being helped by you because you are too in your head? And it's so I think ultimately he's right, that it is a kind of battle of principles, and which principle are you going to hold closer to you? And so hopefully what wins is helping more people.
So, Dorie, I want to ask you real quick. Again, I'm glad you answered that. What does genuine mean? Because I think genuine is what we're really talking about here. We're like authentic. I know that's an overused word, but what does that really mean? And how do we find that authentic voice? And because I think that's one of the keys to breaking through.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can tell you for me, Rhett, what I have always strived to do is to make it so that if somebody hears about me, or if somebody kind of meets me on the internet and they see things that I post or videos that I make or whatever, and then they meet me in person, that there is literally zero difference between those things, so that it is just all a completely seamless thing. Because that is just, it's less stress in the world. And I'm not doing it for other people. I'm doing it for me. I think that the number one rule of homosexual fight club that you learn when you grow up gay is that it is too stressful to have different personas that you show to different people. It's like a psychological baggage, and I never wanted that. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. And so I think that is a rule that is useful for other people to adopt as well, because it is just mental peace when you're the same person everywhere you go. I'm curious, how do you guys think about that?
Well, it's a very interesting question, because I get told all the time that I'm very intimidating. And I'm like, how can I be intimidating? I'm like a hot mess, giant bag of insecurities all the time. And yet, I think that my social persona, because I'm trying to lead with credibility, and I'm so uncomfortable bragging that I just try, like, I am Laura, but I'm like LGO online. And so I don't think I do a good job. And I think you've taught me here that I need to get a little bit better about just showing up a little bit more as I am on a regular basis, because it is exhausting to go from one person in one area and one person in another. That's like code switching and costume changing and all of that we do is exhausting.
That's so interesting. So you feel like you might be leaning too heavily into the LGO alter ego kind of?
Yeah, I mean, like the super insecure nerd who went to computer sleepaway camp at 13 years old lives and breathes deeply inside of me. But I saw something the other day that said that menopause is when you become the person you were at 13 years old, except now you love yourself. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna love myself, because I am definitely menopausal. Rhett, why don't you give us the answer, and then we got to close up. We got our 15 minutes.
Well, I was going to say I was saved by the bell, but but look, I think for me, it's just I love what Dorie said. I think that's right, and I'm actually trying to do more of that. I spent Saturday, and I posted this on Instagram the other day. I spent Saturday with my kid at the beach, and we built a sandcastle, this massive sandcastle. Like, that's more me than the button-down shirt that I've got on right now, and doing up, my hair brushed. I'm usually a wild mess too, right? Like, and I want to show more of that, because that's who it really is. And if you appreciate that, then we can connect, and we're gonna get along great. But anyway, I think you're right, Dorie. It's really just, it's no distance between who you are online, and who and what you write about, what you talk about, and how you show up. I love that answer, because I think that's right. And unfortunately, Dorie, we could all talk to you for a long time here, but we have to go. And so the Global Gurus podcast is 3 questions, one methodology, real results. And that's what we explore on every episode here. Dorie, it's been a pleasure. Get her book, The Long Game. You will not be sorry. And Dorie, thank you.
Thank you, Rhett. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks so much.